Alright, today we're going to be going over maybe a hot topic, and that is the DLC system versus the Battle Pass system in Call of Duty and pretty much every other game, to be honest, but mostly the Call of Duty cycle. There was a time in COD history where instead of a Battle Pass you can pay and rank up, you could just straight up buy more maps with DLC. So what is DLC first off? DLC was and still is a thing among games. You buy the DLC pack and you either get guns, maps, and just more content depending on the game. The price normally ranges around $5 to $30 depending on how big the pack was. If these DLC packs had maps in them, then yeah, that would be more expensive. Battlefield and Call of Duty had all these where you can buy DLC pack and it comes with maps, weapons, etc., zombie maps, This was the thing in pretty much every game at the time, not just Call of Duty. Battlefield had it, even WoW had it. That was just the model. You pay for extra content. And it's still an ongoing thing nowadays, like Cyberpunk has, their DLC, or Skyrim, Fallout, all those still have the DLC, but it's mostly live service games that have swapped to the Battle Pass system. Then came along Fortnite. Fortnite was one of the biggest games on the planet for a while, and that was mostly because of its model. Free to play with a Battle Pass, you can rank up to earn cosmetics plus an extra item shop. You can buy skins, all while maps, map expansions, guns, and new mechanics were completely free. That was when the Battle Pass was made popular. There was evidence of before with like Dota 2's and a couple other games, I believe. I don't know where it came from exactly, but Fortnite is when it was made popular. A Battle Pass, if you've been living under a rock for years, it's where you level up in-game to earn rewards. There are normally 100 levels per Battle Pass season, and each one has its own reward, like a new skin or emote or some premium currency. You have a free version of the Battle Pass, which doesn't give you all the items, or you can pay like $10 to get the full version, which lets you unlock everything once you level up enough. These things only last a couple months, and then when they're gone, never to be seen again. This creates FOMO, which I think is a horrible practice, but I digress. Anyway, these were popularized with Fortnite and has been a big part of the live gaming service ever since. My argument is that I think Battle Passes are better than DLC if they're done right. When you have maps and modes locked behind DLC packs, that splits the community. For example, do you remember when you were a kid playing BO1 or BO2 on Kino or Transit, having a good time with your buddies? Then DLC 1 comes out and you're all excited, so you ask your parents to get it so you can play the new map, but your parents say no because they can't fork out another $15 to $20. So all your friends get to play the new map, but you're stuck playing the launch map because you can't get it yourself. I had a friend that happened too, and it did suck. With the Battle Pass system, that doesn't happen, since every new map comes free with updates. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, they don't produce enough maps with the Battle Pass system compared to the DLC system. And I say yes, but that's more on the person in charge of the budget and scheduling, not the developers themselves. I feel like with more budget and more time, the developer could get more content into these free updates. Because, for example, it's the same thing with the DLC system back then. They could have, done the same amount of content they have now and still charge $15 to $20. It's the same exact thing. It's like it's just the person in charge of that system, not the developer himself. Look at Fortnite in its prime. They were pumping out new content each week, whether it was a new gun, a new POI, or whatever it was. It was new and coming out every single week. That proves the model can work if the resources are there. I feel like paying for cosmetics is a lot better than paying for new content. I know I had a video talking about COD's monetization problem, and while I do believe there are some issues that should be changed, I still think paying for cosmetics is the better model because it's all, you don't have to pay for it. The new content, you don't have to pay for it, but you're missing out on gameplay or maps or stories or whatnot because of that. But with just having the cosmetics, it's just how you look. So I'm okay with paying for cosmetics than paying for content. While, yes, I do think some items should be available in-game to earn, not everything should be paidable. I also think Battle Passes should evolve into what Marvel Rivals or Arc Raiders are doing, where the Battle Passes don't expire and you can complete them on your own time. No FOMO, no time pressure. That's the ideal version. Another negative I keep hearing is the Fortnite ruined gaming because of the Battle Pass model. To that, I say no. It's every other game trying to replicate Fortnite. That's the problem. I think every game should have its unique identity and try to stand on its own without needing to copy the monetization of a billion-dollar game. Fortnite found out what worked for Fortnite. Other games need to find out what works for them instead of copying and pasting. and then gamers blaming Fortnite for ruining gaming. But Fortnite didn't ruin gaming, introduced another way of monetization. It's the same thing with whoever invented DLC instead of putting it in the game to begin with. Alright, that's enough rambling from me. I just wanted to go over this because I see a lot of debate about it and wanted to put my 2 cents in. If you think something different, let me know in the comments and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.